All right, so I don't normally talk about Call of Duty, but I did, as this video is about, or the video in the background is Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. I did play Infinite Warfare, and I rather enjoyed its single player portion, and the rumors of Call of Duty going back, well, they're pretty strong rumors, going back to World War II very much interest me. I kind of skipped, I don't know, 6 Call of Duty's games. I played Modern Warfare 2. I played Modern Warfare 1, Modern Warfare 2, and then this one. So I skipped a lot of them just as a, reference point here. And I after Infinite Warfare, I'm definitely interested in what they have to say and what's going on. And here's what I would like to see them do to speed this up, to speed this along. If it's in World War II, I want to see it be different. I don't want it to be storming Normandy. No. I don't want it to be Battlefield 1's vignettes of separated little stories all about the war. No. What Call of Duty does best, and what they've all kind of done, as far as I know, is follow that soldier to the end. Or when they die a third of the way through, and then you play someone else and follow them to the end. So I want to see that. And what I also would love to see, and I don't think they do this, but I want them to go crazy with this. I want them to create an alternate history of World War II, where the Allies lose. And that's the game. And like, you're playing through this COD campaign, and halfway through it, you're looking at these events and you're going, this is not how the war went. If you know, or it starts to become obvious, it's like, man, we're really losing here. What's happening? And I think it would be incredibly interesting to have, like, the Allies lose, but Hitler dies still. And so there's this world in turmoil at the end of the game. And you can create this universe that is now the World War II sequels, in the same way if we had Black Ops 1, 2, 3. This is another sub-franchise of alternate history. Like, here's 1950, after the Allies lost, but Hitler's dead, so like the Nazis lost power, and like Russia took, and like Japan's taken over still more of China. Like, there's all this weird stuff going on, and you're fighting these more guerrilla tactics missions. I want to see that. Now, it is vaguely similar to Wolfenstein, but no crazy technology. Very grounded, very different. And I would love to see them be bold enough to just, like, no, that we're telling an alternate history story. And we're going weird places with it. We're going to where, like, half the United States, not to be man in the high castle, but half the United States is taken over by another country. Or the United States succeed from themselves and like 2 separate countries. Like, all this cool history stuff you can play with. And I fear that they're just gonna play it super safe and like, oh, this is exactly what happened. This is the story we're telling, and this is World War II. Like, but we've seen World War II. We've done that. I think by having it be crazy town, and then the next game is like defending all like weird shit. Like England from Japan, like just weird scenarios that would probably not happen. I'm not a historian, but I don't think that would happen. But if the Russians are taking over more of Europe, and maybe there's a split within the Allies, super cool stuff here, because there was a Cold War. Like, what would happen? Like the same thing that happened with that loss of power from Third Reich going away, and now the Allies like taking over, that led to the Cold War. We now have that situation, but Germany didn't lose. They just lost their leader and are just kind of confused. And so they can use that as a rallying point for another counterattack. Like, there's all these different angles we can take and make something that's old and with that familiar weaponry and setting, but telling a completely new story and shape it. Like, you can do this for the next 10 years, right? And just completely shape, like, oh, this is the game in 1960. Like, what's going on in that alternate universe in 1960? Well, 1970. Like, you start steering things and going through history and being like, oh, this was only invented because we needed to invent it for, you know, Vietnam, but that didn't happen, so we don't have that technology. Or we invented it sooner because we needed it here. Like, there's all these interesting things that could happen with it, and I'd love to see them do something like that. They're not going to. They're not going to. This is way too home fronty. But man, is that more interesting to me. And I it was something that just popped into my head as I was thinking about like World War II. I'm like, what are they going to do? What are they going to do that makes it different from the first 4 Call of Duty games that were in World War II? What are they going to do with that? You can't just go back. You have 5 games like that. And is it the greatest hits of all those games? And I think not by setting it in space, which is weird. I think you can take it another place and not have it be Wolfenstein or Man in the High Castle. Like, really be this war story that's alternate. Now, the other way I could see it going, which would be also kind of as cool, is just following a soldier for 10 hours or 8 hours or whatever as they go through different parts of the war and saving people and seeing the horrors of the war. That can really be done in a more believable way now because of technology, because of stuff like Battlefield 1, which I don't think did a super amazing job with all its little stories. They were so fractured. But they can do something with it. And I'm very interested in seeing what they do because space really got me. I'm telling you, taking 5 years off from a franchise, refreshing. Really refreshing. It's a great idea. You don't need to buy every game if you don't want to. You don't have to just because you have before. And it's really nice to come back in and have that great Call of Duty gameplay. Completely new setting. Fun little time. It's a great game. Like, Infinite Warfare is fantastic. I think it's better than Titanfall 2. I think it's better than Battlefield 1 in terms of a single player story. Like, bar none. It's way better than either of those games. To me. Obviously, it's my opinion. Whose else would it be? That kind of annoys me. There's a lot of this, oh, in my opinion, when some people say stuff. And I'm like, well, who else's opinion would it be? Who else is talking here? Why would you be saying someone else's opinion? It's obviously yours. Just, you don't need to preface it. Anyway, that's the kind of Call of Duty I'd like to see. Either that, alternate history World War II, or it's World War II in space. This level also, people raved about how cool this wasn't as cool as people said. It looks fancy, but you're shooting so many things. There's all this other shit going on. You don't got time for the fancy sun. You don't got time for that. Alright, that's it. That's the show for this week. A little shorter. There's not a lot going on. I'm trying to get through Mass Effect very slowly. About 21 hours into Mass Effect Andromeda. I really like it. Really, really like it. Trying to get through Nier still. Kind of took a break from it. Came back to it. Really love that game. Love that game. So good. I'm maybe 70, 80 hours into Zelda. I want to finish that. And then I'm looking ahead to the future. And there's Yooka-Laylee in, a week and a half. And I kickstarted that game, so I'm getting it. Like, it's just going to show up one day. That's great. And then there's Prey at the beginning of May. And I'm like, man, I need to get through some of these games. They're really piling up. This is not good. This is not good for me. I can't have the game pile. But it's a good problem to have, I think. That's it. This is a show every Friday, 3 p.m. Pacific time, twitch.tv/thegamefanatics. I go into whatever the hell I want. Random news stories, reviews, opinions, whatever. I'm back on my channel, twitch.tv/BenReacts. I am streaming, I'm starting Mario Maker again, starting to stream that again. I basically streamed Zelda all of March and still haven't beaten it. And still am like, come on. So, but back to Zelda back to Mario Maker and Zelda on Wednesday. And that's it. Then the show. And then Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Call of Duty, not in World War II. No? Look at them. They're not in World War II. What's that about? Oh no. That was a really good game. Okay, that was a really good game. Way better than it had any right being. My eye is still twitching. Big fan. Big fan of my eye twitching. Thanks, eye. Dick.